Good evening, everybody, and thanks for being here on very short notice. We're in the middle of the longest federal government shutdown in the history of the country, and it's impacting people across the country. It's impacting people here in the state of Connecticut. It's impacting folks who are trying to fly out of Bradley Airport in terms of TSA agents. It's impacting folks that are waiting for permission, EPA. I heard about a major facility that's under construction here in the state of Connecticut slowed down because they can't get that permission from EPA because of this shutdown. There is something we can do as the state of Connecticut, and I can do as a governor, and that's look after the 1,500 federal employees, essential and non-essential, who are now not doing the work or not being paid for the work that they are doing. Of those 1,500 federal employees here in the state of Connecticut, approximately 80% of them are essential. And deemed as such, they are not eligible for unemployment compensation. They are doing this work without getting paid at this point, and that's causing incredible stress for them and their families. And we're not going to let that happen. So I am very, very pleased to be able to announce this evening that we have put together a public-private partnership led by my friends from Webster Bank and John Ciulla. Thank you, John, for what you're doing here, in association with the Bankers Association. And the banks led by Webster are going to provide an interest-free loan to each and every one of these federal employees who are right now doing their work as essential employees and not getting paid for it. I think this will make an enormous difference in their lives. We as the state of Connecticut are going to backstop this and make sure that the payments are guaranteed. But most importantly, what you ought to know is our federal employees here in the state of Connecticut are going to receive the unemployment compensation that they deserve in the form of an interest-free loan. This is just a start of how we want to be able to continue to work with the private sector reaching out and taking the lead on very short notice, John, and making a difference in people's lives. And with that, I think I'd like to introduce John, CEO of Webster Bank, to talk a little more about how this partnership came together and how we're taking the lead on this. John?
Thanks, Governor. Webster Bank, along with the Connecticut Bankers Association and other banks in the state, are pleased to provide assistance to Connecticut residents who, through no fault of their own, are without income due to the ongoing government shutdown. And we're pleased to be able to provide interest-free loans to those citizens. And for me, what's really encouraging, and a lot of the discussions we've had with the governor before, during, and after the election, is how quickly we can move to solve problems when the administration works closely with the business community. So we're really happy to do it. It's simply the right thing to do. We were able to put it together quickly because it's a pretty simple program, and we look forward to helping those in need in the state of Connecticut.
Thank you. I just want to add one last thing. This will cover the vast majority of the federal workers who are not getting paid, the essential workers. There's some that are deemed non-essential. They are eligible for unemployment compensation, and all they got to do is reach out to the American Job Center or reach out to my office. We're going to make sure that you get the compensation that you're due. So with that, any questions, but appreciate you being here.
How do you determine how much a given worker will receive?
We're going to work that through with the banks, but I think right now we're looking to provide them, full compensation for the time that they're without. They'll get back pay later from the federal government. In the meantime, we're taking care of the folks in need.
What will the state be doing? You said the state will provide some sort of guarantee for these loans, or
yeah.
Some sort of backing?
John, Webster Bank, hopefully some other banks are going to be stepping forward in association with the Bankers Association. They're going to step up, and they're going to provide an interest-free loan on short notice to these folks in need. And we're going to be working with them to make sure that we as a state backstop or guarantee and make sure that those payments are made at the end of the term of the loan.
How fast are we talking? Are these guys going to get their money on Friday, or how fast are we moving here?
How's Friday looking, John?
Yeah, it may not be Friday, but I'll tell you that the governor's right. I think the details about the term of the loan, the repayment schedule, we want to make this as easy as possible. We want to make sure that we're bridging people's income to the time when they are once again being paid by the government. So all those details are yet to be worked out. I think we started this process at about noon today, And so we do have some more details. But the key is that the recipients of the loans will not pay interest on the loans, and will make sure that the duration, term, and repayment schedules allow them to repay once they are once again receiving.
Governor, who are some of these employees? Are these TSA? Can you give us an idea of who these 1,500 people are?
Yeah, 1,500 total. I'd say 80% of them are essential folks who otherwise are not getting unemployment compensation. Certainly, they're EPA administrators. I referenced the fact that that is slowing down commerce in the state of Connecticut with the shutdown, how that impacts EPA. Those are certainly the TSA folks that keep our flights safe out of Bradley and otherwise. Those are two of the biggest job categories.
And the shutdown could continue for a while. Are you prepared? Will this continue through that, or do you expect more banks to pitch in, or how long can this arrangement?
I'd like to see more banks pitch in. I'm proud that Webster Bank has taken the lead on this, and I hope that they solve this shutdown tomorrow. But I can't count on anything out of Washington, D.C., so we're going to be there as long as these people need us.
I know you said there are not a lot of details out of this happening at noon, but are people going to the bank to apply? I mean, they hear this, now they're going to want to go get their money. How should they go about it?
I think we have to work out the details, and there'll be more communications and announcements. And I would just add that I'm confident that other banks, and particularly with the Connecticut Bankers Association backing this plan, that many banks will participate, and the details on how to get the loans and where to show up will be forthcoming shortly.
Can you provide us some of the genesis
Some
of the genesis of obviously this happened at noon. When did you start working on it? Who approached who? How quickly was this put together?
This happened very quickly. I was just shocked to find out that essential federal employees doing the people's business, continuing to work, not getting compensated, are not even eligible for unemployment compensation. I thought that was shocking. It's due to a technicality out of Washington, given the fact that they are not able to start looking for work. They can't get paid because they are doing the work they're doing right now. So John and Webster Bank, we started talking about this just today. And I am so proud that they were able to move quickly, and I hope others are able to move quickly as well so we can take care of these folks.
It's my understanding this is unique, right? To your knowledge, is this Connecticut's setting up?
I think Connecticut's a leader here, and I want to be a leader here. I want to show that how we can work collaboratively with the private sector to make this work, and I'd like to think that other states across the country will use this as a model.
Are you purposely doing it this way because this is faster? In other words, the other way of doing it is to go through the legislature, go through the state labor department, change the law, make them eligible, et cetera, et cetera. That's time consuming. Are you purposely doing it this way because this is faster?
We're going to be working with the legislature as quickly as we can, perhaps as early as tomorrow. But this is the way that I can take care of people right now who are having a hard time paying their bills, having a hard time putting food on the table, having a hard time meeting the mortgage payment. This is why you have government. We can step up and make a difference here. When I can do it with the private sector, all the better.
So, Governor, before you had this meeting with the CEO, you met with the unions. How did that go?
It went well, Christine. As I said at the inaugural address a few days ago, I'm meeting with the business leaders. I'm meeting with the legislative leaders. I'm meeting with all the different players I need to help solve this fiscal crisis. And so you're absolutely right. I met with some of the labor leaders, public sector labor leaders that I've gotten to know over time. And all we did was lay out from an actuarial point of view where we are as a state and when it comes to pension and health care liabilities. And it's the beginning of a conversation.
Governor, do you think that this will be enough to hold people in their jobs? Several federal workers have said they may have to change jobs, careers. Are you hoping that this will be enough to?
I hope so. I mean, we need EPA administrators. Boy, do we need TSA folks there keeping us secure at the airport. We can't afford to have these people walking away because they can't feed their family.
It's very early, but because the state's going to be providing a backstop to these and guaranteeing the loans, any clue on a fiscal note what that could mean? Any cost estimate on what the high end, middle, low end of what the loan give outs would be?
I think we've done a preliminary analysis that there are 1,300 folks deemed essential employees. I think we figured that could be, up to $5 million, per pay cycle, something like that.
Thank you.
So is there a cap, or basically at this point you have to see what the need is, right?
Right. We haven't worked out the details. Our assumption is obviously that there'll be a high rate of repayment, given the fact that when they're back getting their paychecks, they'll repay. So we don't think from a commitment perspective, I think it's a bold one and an important one, but we don't think that the numbers in terms of the state guarantee would be astronomical.
And a loan is a loan. These have to be paid, right? This is obviously not free money. So, correct that these people have to officially apply for a loan. I'm Joe Smith. I have to apply for a loan. I get a loan from Webster Bank. Specific amount of money, I got to pay it back.
Again, I think the important things to remember is the details will be worked out. We just have to verify who the borrower is in terms of fitting in this set of government employee, and then we would make them a loan. It would be an interest-free loan, so they wouldn't be paying any interest on it, but certainly they would have to pay the principal back at such time as they were able to when their pay restarted from the government.
Governor, how are you able to provide a guarantee without legislative approval? Because I don't understand how that would work.
Let me get back to you on that. But we've got this backstopped in the sense that we know that the federal is going to come back and pay the back pay for these people, and I can give Webster and the other banks some assurance that we're going to take care of that in the meantime. With that, everybody, thank you very much. Appreciate you being here.